About a month ago, exactly to this date on March 20th, I woke up from a dream that I was in a room and set to sign a document. And as I looked at the document had at the top of it this paragraph that I believe was written in Latin that I couldn't really understand. And right under that, it had a signature line that just simply said Pope. Now, this was on March 20th, exactly 1 month ago. In the dream, I'm like, well, should I sign this? I don't want to sign anything that says anything about the Pope. And I'm getting ready to like scratch my name out or scratch something out from the document. And someone ran into me and said, no, do not do that. This means that you are no longer under the jurisdiction of the Pope. So once it was explained to me exactly what this document was in the dream, I went ahead and signed the document. And what I came to realize was that I was in this situation where you're with these people that are within a select group of society that basically gain access to certain privileges after signing this particular document, meaning that I am no longer within the matrix of regular everyday people. I actually got to decide all of these gifts that I was going to receive after signing this document. There were like people that I knew on this wall of people that were basically receptors of this particular type of treatment based on the fact that they signed this document. So in essence, I was being rewarded with various perks. There were like shoes and all these different things. Towards the end of that, after selecting what I wanted, there was this guy that I started talking to, and we were just kind of chilling, hanging out together, just relaxing. As I'm chilling and relaxing with this guy, he just starts fantasizing about, okay, where should we buy land? And he's like, well, you have Atlanta, you have all these different places he started to name. And he's like, pick wherever you want. The land is ours to take, and we can pretty much purchase property wherever we want. The sky is the limit, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, And then I glance over to my right and I see a tree full of beautiful white doves that are like fluffy and white, so pretty, like doves I've never seen before. Fast forward to last night, which was April 20th, I had another dream about the Pope. And this time the Pope had actually passed away, and there was set to be this successor that looked to me to resemble Baron Trump, but much older, and he had like long, shaggy brown hair. In the dream last night, I see this guy and I'm like, okay, he kind of resembles Baron Trump's tall white guy, whatever. But I remember thinking, okay, this guy is supposed to be set to be the vicar of Christ on earth. Like they're going to appoint him. And I remember thinking, like, can they do that? And I also remember thinking something about this is going to be the Antichrist, right? And I don't know if you're familiar with like Seventh-day Adventist prophecy, but this reminded me of the Seventh-day Adventist prophecy that states that the Pope or the Vatican will be the one to usher in this prophecy where there was going to be this persecution of the remnant who keep the commandments of God via a Sunday law. I think that the Seventh-day Adventist prophecy has some truth to it, as there will be a remnant, as we discussed on this page, who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of a Christ. However, it's not specifically about the church specifically, because it's the understanding that in order for you to make it to this next portion of the new earth and get past the great solar flash, you're going to need to clear your light body of all sins, and basically also acknowledge the Creator, which is nestled within the fourth commandment of the 10 commandments, or the command prompts of the analog body, basically being syntax errors or sins against your light body. So I believe that the Adventists had the right idea in terms of them creating the Sunday law, which is in essence is a representation of this entity or this particular church ushering in the prophecy. If you could understand the theological concepts that are described within the church, fundamentally, in understanding what I am teaching on this channel is two totally different things. Yes, the commandments are relevant, but more so for you to clear your light body. Are people in the Seventh-day Adventist church actually adhering to this type of ideology? Absolutely not. Everything is scriptural based, and they believe that as long as they keep the Sabbath, that is all they need to do. So I kind of see the parallels there, but I also see the much larger looming picture, which is this particular Pope passing away ushers in a portion of prophecy. So my dreams are correlating with this door that has been opened, basically, or this delta that is now going to be the signaling of what is to come in terms of the persecution of the remnant. If you're just joining me, my entire ministry is focused on the message that I have been given by God, which is there's going to be this black sun gravitational singularity event by the shutting down of the moon machine. And this is going to be brought on by the woman of Revelations 12, which is the woman with the moon under her feet that brings forth a man-child, which is of the 13th bloodline, that's going to over circuit or short circuit the moon machine and basically shut everything down, causing the sun to create a solar flare. And everyone on earth will need to be corrected in their light bodies in order for them to survive this particular sun event. So as I explained in my previous post, Revelations 12:17 is on the tail end of this woman having this baby and the devil being angry with her because she is getting ready to end his dominion within earth. And basically they start a war, okay? And it says the dragon was wroth with the woman, or angry with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. As I explained in other videos, the seed is the word, who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of a Christ. One of the two witnesses is the woman of Revelation 12. She is the bride of Christ by bringing forth this man-child and also teaching everyone that they need to keep these commandments. She is the one that the devil is angry with, and also there's going to be war made with the remnant of her seed who believe what she's saying in terms of keeping the commandments, clearing your light body, and having her testimony because she is a Christ. As a person who has obtained Christ consciousness, as a Christ myself, I believe that I have been given this message to communicate with you all in terms of being the remnant who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Christ. And I also believe that I've been given these dreams as a form of prophecy in order to warn everyone that we are at the door, or the Delta. See this Delta airline flight that just kind of had this massive evacuation in Orlando? Delta has various codes attached into it, which I will plug in here. However, the death of the Pope is kind of signaling this open door. And remember in the movie Sinners, how Delta Slim and these people were trapped inside of this building, and in order for them to start this particular war, they had to invite these vampiric spirits in. Okay, we talked about this on this channel, so I hope that you've been paying attention. Now, is this a coincidence that you have this movie Sinners that just was released and you're talking about the Pope passing away? There was a character by the name of Delta Slim, and now the next day you have this, after the Pope passes away, you have this exit of a Delta plane. And as I explained on this channel, planes are representative of the plane of Earth. So everyone's wondering why all of these planes are crashing. It is because it is symbology. You're talking about a world stage play that basically uses this different coded language to communicate on an elite level. So whenever you have these events, it's more so for you to determine or decipher what is being communicated in the higher spaces, because it's all a signaling for that. So what is getting ready to happen next? Well, if you open the door for them and you let them in, then guess what? You have to go to war. I am not going to break down the movie Sinners just yet because I'm still processing and digesting the information. However, a lot of what I teach on this channel is represented in this film. The red and blue, as far as the red and blue hat of the brothers being the red and blue kachina, the upper body chakra versus the lower root chakra. Okay, we're talking about frequencies and energies, the light body. We're talking about cutting off the head of the snake. Okay, there was so much symbology in here, and the vampires at the end of that movie being burned up by the energy of the sun. Hello, we're talking about the Black Sun event. So there are no coincidences, okay? I truly believe that we are at the door of this event that is getting ready to happen, that is going to bring on the war, that is going to be against the remnant of her seed. So I just wanted to hop on here and share this with you guys because I thought that it was very powerful. So I hope you got something from this message, or whatever your interpretation of this is. And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos that I'll be dropping very soon. Peace, love, and light.